Everybody, it's Charles, your hobby hero, and today we're going to be talking about first edition for Disney Lorcana. Now, will there be an official first edition of the first chapter from Ravensburger? And the short answer is no, but what we're going to be looking at today in the video is the not so short version of that answer on why there very well could be a first edition of the first chapter for Disney Lorcana. But before we get started, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down in the bottom corner. I do appreciate it. I do put out regular content about the hobbies that I love the most, with this channel being dedicated to the card games that I play. Now, I know what you're saying. Ravensburger has already come out and said that there will be no first edition differences between the first printing of the first chapter and subsequent printings going forward. However, there have been some things that have arisen that makes me think it could be likely that we get an unofficial first edition, and let me explain what those things are. Now, if you don't know what an unofficial first edition printing would be, it's basically if there is some way to designate, even if it's an unofficial way to designate, the first edition print versus subsequent printings after that, similar to the Shadowless set of Pokemon. And if you're not familiar, basically what happened was there were first edition prints of the base set in Pokemon. They went to the unlimited print run, and after the first printing, which were printed without a shadowless border, they decided to add that shadowed border to subsequent print runs. So even though officially there is no shadowless set, collectors are able to look at those cards, distinguish that they were printed in that specific print window and that those came before the rest of the unlimited print run, and those contain a higher premium because of that. And I think we may see some of that with Lorcana's first chapter. Now, to start with, where I think it's going to be the most likely is in sealed product. Now, if you aren't familiar, you haven't seen a ton of it, we've already got some time-stamped equivalent things on the sealed product that could designate print 1 from subsequent print runs. First and foremost, on sealed cases. If you haven't seen a sealed case, a number of the sealed cases that were sent out to distributors came with a basically warning saying not to break street date on it. A big yellow sticker that basically says don't put on the shelf before the September 1st release date. Now, I would imagine subsequent print runs are not going to include that sticker on the case, so those cases will be able to be designated from later print runs. Now, it is just the cardboard box that the boxes are shipped in, so while I do think that they will hold a small premium over other boxes, I don't think it will be an insane amount of premium because it's not really the box the product's in, it's kind of the box of the boxes, and if there's really no other way to distinguish them other than that case, I don't think the premium would be very high. However, the sealed product itself actually is dated as well. So if you look at the bottom of the booster boxes, the troves, and the gift boxes on their UPC, they're actually dated with the year 2023, designating the print year that they were done. Now, in subsequent prints, if those come out past the year 2023, we could see that date updated on the box to a 2024. Now, if that's the case, it would be very easy to distinguish any sealed product for the most part from the first print wave to subsequent print runs after that, which would increase those premiums and revert back to making those cases where it's designated on the case very much a higher premium at that point. Now, this only affects people who are sealed collectors, and for those of you who aren't, you may be already telling yourself, I really don't care if there is a difference between print 1 sealed product and print 2 sealed product if all the cards inside are the same. Now, having said that, I want to look at two options really that could come into play on future print runs that would make the cards inside, in fact, different from the first print run to subsequent print runs. The first one, and the most likely one, is the fact that the print quality for this set has not been very good. If you've opened enough of this product, you've probably noticed a lot of discrepancies between the ink tones from one pack to the next, from one box to the next. This can happen when they're being printed at different locations. This can happen whenever they don't like the way the colors looked in the first print run, so they sent them out in a second one, making adjustments. If this goes back to an additional print run, it goes to either a different printer, or whatever changes they decided to make may have been lost and they go back and rechange or make new changes. That could result in a print quality difference that is discernible to anyone who opens the pack. For example, the back of the card could be an entirely different tint. So anytime you look at the back of a card from the original print run to the second print runs and so forth and so on, you could see a lot of those defects. Colorings could be different. We could see a number of things that were unique to just the first print run and not in subsequent print runs, because they've either been corrected or adjusted and permanently changed so that they are easily recognizable from set 1 or for print run 1 versus print run 2. This would cause something similar to the Shadowless Pokemon set, where again, very identical cards, they changed one small thing on those cards and they became easily recognizable as an earlier print versus a later print on those cards. And then the last thing, and I think it's a change that we will likely see in the future, I just don't know if it will come into effect before the secondary prints go into production, and that is with the uptick in counterfeit cards that we're already seeing for the high value cards, that they're most likely going to implement some changes to the cards that are going to make them harder to counterfeit in the future. Magic the Gathering addressed this by putting little holographic stamps at the bottom to denote cards that were rare or higher value, and I could see them doing something similar with either the Enchanteds and Legendaries for this set, maybe even going all the way down to as low as rare by making like a holographic emblem or something different on the card that designates them as being harder to counterfeit. If that goes into effect as soon as the reprint goes into effect, we could see something recognizable in that sense, designating print 1 from print 2. Now, if there is something that comes up that results in set 1 being discernible from additional print runs going into the future, what does that mean for the singles market? Well, with this being a very collector-driven game already, I think we could expect to see anything out of set 1 that has got high playability or high collectability absolutely skyrocketing in price. Enchanted rarities, I think, would just absolutely go through the roof and cause just a catastrophic explosion in the collector's market. These people are not stupid. They understand the difference between a first edition and second edition print run. We've already seen it with a lot of other card games, Flesh and Blood, Pokemon. All of these cards feed into that collector frenzy, that heightened FOMO, because there will not be any subsequent first print cards that come out. Ravensburger has come out and said that they are going to print this game to meet demand. If they can do that is yet to be seen, but if there is a difference between print 1 and future print runs, they're not going to be able to go back and replicate that first print run at any point in time in the future, which will create that feeding frenzy in that collector's market. So what does that mean for you? If you're just looking to play, not a whole lot. If you're looking to collect, I would recommend getting the cards that you want for sure in your collection before that second wave of print run comes out. I think we're going to see prices dropping up until that point in time, so you still have some opportunities to buy some of the bigger cards that you may want to secure for your collection. For me, I think there is a decent enough chance that there will be something that arises to designate these first print runs that I'm going to make sure that I have my stuff secured ahead of time. If it doesn't come out, worst case scenarios, I already have the stuff that I want to keep long term, but I don't have to worry about the collector in me going out and trying to grab the stuff right after the prices have inflated. But I would like to hear what you guys think. Do you guys think it's likely that we'll see something similar to the Shadowless Pokemon in set 1's reprints and subsequent printings in the future? And do you think that the sealed product will hold any kind of premium if they update the dates on the back of the UPCs? Let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, guys, Hobby Hero out.